Good morning, students. Let's start today's session with Lesson 6 Properties of Seawater. Children, we have already studied about the two properties, that is temperature and salinity. And today we are going to study about the third property of seawater, that is density. The density of seawater plays a vital role in causing ocean currents and circulating heat. The density of water is affected by two things. First, temperature. As water temperature decreases, density increases and volume increases. Once water becomes ice, the density then decreases. Result: ice forms and floats. Second, salinity. When salts dissolve in pure water, the water's density increases. Result: fresh water floats on salt water. Temperature and salinity are the two properties of seawater that control the density of the seawater. Cold water is denser and so is called as saline water. As compared to salinity, density of temperature is more. Hence, more saline or salty water has lower temperature at the surface. But the density of saline or salty water is more than other water. Now, let us look at the graph figure 6.10, that is distribution of temperature, salinity and density of seawater according to depth. The graph shows salinity, temperature and density with reference to the depth of the seawater. As we know that the density of the water is dependent on temperature and salinity, children, if you see the graph carefully, you will realize that after a certain depth, that means after a certain deepness, there is no change in these factors according to the depth. Which factors? Temperature, salinity and density. These are the three factors. The change can be seen up to a depth of about 500 meter. The slopes of the curves of the graph are different for all the three factors, that is for temperature, salinity and density. If you look at the graph, the slope of the curves of the graph, they are different below the depth of 1000 meter. There is no change in all the three factors. But if you see that below the depth of 1000 meter, there is no change in all the three factors, that is temperature, salinity and density. You can only see the changes about 500 meter. Generally, we can call the seawater up to the depth of 500 meter as surface water. And this water gets affected by ocean currents and sun rays. And we can also see the movement of these waters in the form of ocean currents. But we cannot see any changes below the depth of 1000 meters in all the three factors. We can only see the changes above 500 meter. At greater depth, winds, sun rays and currents, they do not affect these properties, and therefore after around 1000 meter depth there is no change in all the three factors. That means after 1000 meter depth there is no change in temperature, nor in salinity, nor in density. The ocean currents are generated because of difference in the properties of seawater. They act as temperature controllers at the global level. The distribution of temperature gets controlled due to the ocean currents. Thus, the climate of the earth gets affected by ocean currents. So students, I hope you have understood the distribution of temperature, salinity and density of seawater according to depth. Now let's recap. First point, temperature and salinity are the two properties of seawater that control the density of the seawater. Second, if temperature decreases, then the density of water increases. Third, as compared to salinity, density of temperature is more. Assignment: observe the graph, that is figure 6.10, and write the question and answers in your geography copy. Thank you.